what if I just invest in myself? And not just financially, but time. I never really applied myself at anything in life. I am the poster child of failing to commit. From the time I was born till I was probably 25, I would be the person that would stop 2 feet short of the finish line. I never finished anything that I committed to. I didn't commit to school. I didn't commit to going to work. So I never really had confidence. I was masked with insecurity from being overweight, being made fun of as a kid. All of these things that held me back were directly correlated to becoming a different version of me today.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast is brought to you by Unlocking Greatness with Jacob Emery, a coaching community built for those ready to become the strongest version of themselves. Weekly calls, proven playbooks, and a community built to grow. Greatness is not given, it's unlocked. Join us today at jacobemery.com or DM coach at jacobemery44 on all social media platforms.
If someone asks you, who is Jacob Emery? How would you lay that out?
I shouldn't be here. Debtor in jail in high school was my narrative. Debtor in jail by 21. I started in the pipeline world for the idea that I'm not going to go to college and spend $20,000 a year because I am incapable of surviving high school. I barely survived high school. Why would I try to go spend a bunch of money to do the thing I hate already? I was a misfit growing up and I had severe ADHD. Now I understand it. I didn't then. Severe ADHD, I acted out impulsively on that. I struggled in school. I wasn't taught how to learn. So education was a joke to me. I used to think reading books was idiotic. Laughable to think that now because I'm obsessed with education. But out of high school at 18, going to the workforce, 2 years of going down that wrong path, debtor in jail by 21 at 20 years old was the likely outcome for me. And then there was a switch for me. What the hell are you doing with your life? Corey Gregory asked me that question one day and everything changed. Personal development over partying was the shift. I went from 20-year-old at $9 an hour to running crews at 22 with subtle changes every day, the daily standards and disciplines that I put in place. And at 22, I set out the goal of I want to buy Armor Pipeline by 30. And 8 years later, that's a reality. Me and Cody purchased a company in 2019. The fitness was such a passion for me still. I became a shareholder of Max Effort Muscle and joined the team with Corey. And then me and Corey helped fund the starting of Uprising Athletics with Jason Tomlinson because we wanted to help him win. Because also, like myself, Jason wasn't put out there in life to be the person he became. Against all odds, he did it also. We shouldn't be here, Jason. So that passion for me, I wanted to impact other people the same way that I had been impacted. And then I realized one thing, I cannot impact masses if I don't have the ability to do so with a platform. How do I get my voice recognized? First is writing a book. And then Corey mentioned content one day. And then the Iron and Infrastructure podcast and the Iron Infrastructure LLC was formed because of that. The Iron built my infrastructure personally and professionally. The weightlifting because of insecurity and being overweight. And then heavy equipment growing up, pipelining professionally. That's what the Iron represents to me. I'm iron built. And so today, I'm on a mission to help impact 100,000 people by helping them unlock their greatness, by getting clarity what they want out of life, and then building the confidence through systems to go get that thing. Your dream is like your fingerprint. It's yours and yours only. So go get the thing that you want out of life.
Thanks, Jake. So I think that's very informative for those who really don't know the background and how Jacob Emery started when he was young and then where he is right now. Actually, for me personally, when I first heard your story, it doesn't really show because right now you look so successful, you look so composed, you're like at a very neutral state in your life. You're not in survival mode, but really sinking that in, like I think that's the ultimate manifestation of what you've been through. Like you've earned where you are right now. So it also is an inspiration to people who are probably down in the dumps. I do want to tap on those words. So what are you doing with your life? So is that the only thing that really pushed you forward, or was there something more internal that like something more pivotal in you that was already happening that was like the final straw and you had to change whatever is wrong with your life?
I never understood the why behind me as an individual. And then that was the beginning point. But I looked at myself and thought, I've invested a lot in all the wrong things. What if I just invest in myself? And not just financially, but time. I never really applied myself at anything in life. I am the poster child of failing to commit up until from the time I was born till I was probably 25. I would be the person that would stop 2 feet short of the finish line. I never finished anything that I committed to. I got cut from the high school or the middle school basketball team. I didn't even try out in high school. I raced motocross kinda, but I wasn't any good at it. I am your prototypical half-ass person if you've ever met one for most of my life. I didn't commit to school. I didn't commit to going to work. I just didn't want to go to school. So I never really had confidence. I was masked with insecurity from being overweight, being made fun of as a kid. All of these things that held me back were directly correlated to becoming a different version of me today. I carried that weight for so long, I didn't realize it until that moment. When he asked me that question, it wasn't an instant hit. It was my realization was just tweaked in that moment because what I thought about was the answer to the question that I couldn't provide. What the hell are you doing with your life? I couldn't answer the question outside of absolutely nothing. That was the only answer I had. So it was almost a path that I was going down. And it's like, you know what? I don't like this path. What if I just try to go down a different one? And the only way I can go down a different one is to do something different. I'm not doing good now. So let's do one thing that's good. Let me try to advance in my career. It started out with me looking at what's the next certification that I can capture to go to that next step, just one step. I can't see through the forest. I can't see the forest through the trees, but I can see that one step in front of me. One certification, one step led to daily personal development, trading happy hour or an hour on the treadmill. And it was just these subtle changes that compounded over time. I couldn't see it at first. I couldn't feel it. I couldn't recognize it. But then one day I woke up and my life was different. And because it was my mindset was different, the way that I treated myself, the way I talked to myself privately, the way that I said, I'm going to do this thing. It all really came together though in 2013. I had been a yo yo dieter my entire life. I had been passionate about being in shape because of I hated who I was for the longest time. I'm overweight, I'm insecure, and I hate myself because of that. But I never did the thing for the right reasons. I didn't do it because I wanted to love the person that I could become. I did it because I hated who I was. So I committed to this show after talking to Corey one day. He had a busy diet and he said, man, you got to try this busy diet. Like it's awesome. Let me know what you think. So I started it. I said, I'll do it for 12 weeks. I had no intention of it leading to what it did. And then 6 weeks in, I lost some weight. I was feeling pretty good. Corey's like, you going to do a show? I'm like, no. It's like, why don't you do the show? He gave me that opportunity that I was not prepared for, but I needed. And I committed in that moment. Probably more from I didn't want to let him down than actual like, oh, hell yeah, let's go do this. But I told him I was going to do it. And it was the one person I didn't want to disappoint. I disappointed a lot of people in my life. But for whatever reason, in that moment, I respected him enough and admired him enough in what he had done. I can't fail with this. I have to show up. I have to go all in. And for the first time in my life, that was the moment that I started something, I finished something. And for the first 20 some years of my life, I had never actually done that. And so 24, 25 years old, however old I was, it was the first moment in my life. I started and I finished the way that I was supposed to. And I had never done that before. That was probably the ultimate turning point that I had proof at that point I can do this. I am the person that I've said I wanted to become. Now I'm not saying I want to become that person. If I continue down this path of commitment and doing, I am going to become whoever I desire to be. And not long before, or not too, short before that is when I set out that goal to buy R&R. Set that goal a couple years later. I'm going in this bodybuilding show. That commitment was what I needed to prove that I could become the person that I thought I could. And that was probably the biggest turning point, but that was the confidence builder because of the proof that I had put in place.
Stop telling yourself one day. It isn't about one day, it's about day one. Today should be your day one. What you need isn't another day. What you need is clarity with the community to give you confidence to unlock your greatness. That's what the group coaching program is all about. Confidence, clarity, via commitment. Hit the show link in the notes. Let's start unlocking your greatness now, today.